to teach you a series of dynamic balances. Dynamic balances means we're moving while we balance. So we need some thing to challenge our balancing. We've chose to challenge our dynamic balances by creating a beam on the floor. You might have a low beam that you could create as part of your program. You might be outside and able to use a curb as a obstacle that would challenge your balance. You could have a long, narrow bench that you could practice your balances on. The first thing to learn when we're doing our dynamic balances is where to focus our eyes. Common mistakes that students have is they focus their eyes down on their feet. You actually want them looking about one body's length away from them, down on the back beam. So out in front of them will help them control their balance. We also prompt students to use their arms for balance. So by holding them out to the sides, you can counteract any wobbles that you might have while you're traveling. All right, so let's start with some of the traveling things that you can do across for balancing. So the first thing we're going to do is crawling. Crawling on the beam while staying, go ahead Josie, while staying, keeping all body parts inside of that blue line. Nice job. Can you do it backwards? Good. All right, go ahead and stand up. Good, way to use the lunge to stand up. Can you go walk forward? Where should you look? What should you do with your arms? There you go. Can you walk backwards? Heel, toe. Notice when we're walking backwards, we prompt students to hit their heel and their toe instead of a flat foot. This helps them control where they're putting their foot and feel that beam behind them. The next thing that we're going to practice is walking in releve. So releve means we're up on our tippy toes, challenging our balance. Yep. And where should you look? There you go, out in front of you. Releve forwards, releve backwards. Can you change your hand positions? Yep. Could you put your hand positions at a high level? See how tall you can be in releve. Nice job. All right. The next one that we're going to do, this one's a little bit more challenging. We're going to move sideways across the beam. So start, Josie, by just going a side shuffle. Oh, yep. Oh, she's going to do the crossover first. So in front, behind. Before that, I might prompt students to just move sideways across the beam. So that one was round, forward, and backwards. The other thing that students like to do as moving across the beam, this is going to challenge their balance some by having them sweep on the side edges of the beam. Notice I'm using my releve here too. Starting to get an exaggerated leg swing. I can also do that in another position called coop. So we learned about coop in our upright balances, but walking in coop here, I'm using my releve again. Walking with a coop. All right, so now we're going to stay a little bit more stationary, and we're going to challenge our balances and practice changing direction on the beam, because the beam ends, and I have to know how to turn and go back the other way. So the first thing that we practice is a pivot turn. So you're going to be up on your toes in releve, and you're just going to pivot so that you can change direction. You could also do this at a low level. So pivoting in a squat turn, okay? I could use a little bit more momentum with my turn by doing a leg swing. Oh, that wasn't right. So I'm going to go from backwards to forwards and swing my leg. So that's turning on the beam. Let's do a couple more ways to travel across the beam, and I might just prompt students with their balancing. So moving over obstacles. So this would be leaping on the beam. This is pretty challenging. So walking up to, and then taking off one foot and landing on the other. Good. Take off one foot, land on the other. Good job. Okay? Leaping across the beam. I can challenge students to control their momentum. Don't touch the volcanoes as you walk across the beam. Go ahead, Josie. Good. Nice job. Way to control your steps. Do that in a backwards position too. You could prompt students to change levels while, oh, she wants to go backwards. Change levels while moving across the beam.